Hey, Brian, did you get the Ace Frehley interview? Did you listen to that?
I did. I listened to some of it. It was pretty long.
It's like 5 minutes,
Who's Ace
isn't it?
talking to now?
Oh, no, yeah. This one was only 5 minutes.
He's talking to this woman about the Kiss movie.
Oh.
The funny thing is,
the one we watched?
Yeah. Ace is so wasted during the movie that he doesn't really remember much of anything. I don't even know why she interviewed him. But then also, do you remember when Gene said that, Ace was such a waste case during the movie? All he said was, "Awk!" Because he kept missing the interview where they wanted to examine his character and figure out how to write his character. So Paul or somebody said, well, Ace says "awk" a lot. So that's what his character said. So anyway, it sounds like there's some truth to that.
Oh, yeah. Well.
So I don't know why this lady interviews him, but she does.
To another episode. We are one.
October 28th, 1978, on TV. Well, I mean, the obvious question is, like, why would you decide to make a TV movie? Like, how'd that come about?
Because Hanna-Barbera had offered us a lot of money, and my manager thought it was a great idea. If you talk to Paul and Gene about the movie, they both hate it. As far as I'm concerned, I think it's campy, funny. You know, if you're a Kiss fan,
Ace would love it.
You're going to enjoy the film.
Can you describe the plot of Kiss Meets the Fan in the Park as best as you can?
I have no idea what that movie's about. I know there were 4 alternative Kiss robots that this evil scientist, and you know, that was shot at Magic Mountain, incidentally. And he had a secret workshop there. I mean, I was loaded through half of the movie. Well, I didn't even know what was going on half the time. But you know, luckily I had cue cards, and I was pretty good at hiding. I didn't drink too much when I knew I had a important scene. One of the guys on the set was a cocaine dealer. I'm not going to mention any names. But, you know, he used to keep cocaine in his hat and come to my trailer. I'm not going to lie, because I've been sober 12 years. You know, we're only as sick as our secrets. So back in those days, I do a little coke. If I drank too much, which would give me a little pick-me-up, and then I'd be ready for the scene.
Didn't you have some beef with the producer?
He would do a little coke, and then he would drink for a little pick-me-up?
I thought he said he did it because he needed a pick-me-up.
Yeah, he'd be drunk, and so he'd do coke for a pick-me-up.
Okay, that makes sense. But it seems weird that Ace doesn't remember the plot or anything about the movie, but he remembers that the guy kept cocaine in his hat.
Yeah, the important things.
And also, if I had a big scene, I wouldn't drink that much. But I think he starts cracking himself up here. And look at his gut, too. Ace is just so real. That's what I love about him. He doesn't give a fuck.
Didn't you have some beef with either the producers or the scriptwriters because they didn't do, at first, a lot of lines for you? You had, like, no lines at first or something? They just had you saying "ack" a bunch of times?
No, what originally had happened, whoever wrote the script didn't give me lines because everybody in the band was supposed to get a phone call talking about what kind of personality they were and what would they want to say, or something like that. I don't know, I missed the call or something happened. And I think Bill O'Coin said, well, you know, Ace likes to say "ack." So I got the script, and, you know, everybody's got lines except me. So I walked into Bill O'Coin's office. I said, you better rewrite this because I want some lines.
Yeah.
And they did.
So what was your favorite line that you had in the movie?
Come on.
Do you remember?
It was at the end of the day, and we were shooting indoors. Peter was having a big problem saying the word talisman. You know, those things that were in the red box? It got to the point where he couldn't say it, and I would crack up. We did 25 takes. Finally, the producer said, Ace, you take the line. And I did it.
I wanted to ask you another question about Kiss Meets the Fan in the Park because you were talking about Peter Criss's lines. I thought wasn't his voice dubbed by another actor in the movie?
Yeah. What happened was after, you know, the post-production on that film, they realized the problem he had with that one line, there was more imperfections. And, you know, it was a production call. We have nothing to do with it.
They only noticed that in
replaced
post?
Peter's voice in the whole film. I would have been really pissed off if it was me.
Yeah.
But I know how to speak. Luckily, even though I'm from the Bronx.
Was he upset, Peter Criss, when...
You know, I never really talked to him about it. I'm sure he was. To be honest with you, you know, Peter at the time was as loaded as me, if not more. And he may not even have known for a while. But, you know, I mean, the guy that they got to dub his voice, you know, was pretty good.
Gene's brother was an only child. Easy, Cat, man. They are serious.
And they've got guns.
What were some of the lines I had? Remember when we were locked inside the bars? I think I said something like, "I'll get us out of here," and I went like that, and we disappeared and were transported to
He lifted his arm up.
And then we had a fight with monsters. I don't know. We had a lot of fights in that movie.
There's at least 3.
Yeah, luckily nobody got hurt.
I know for a while you kind of disavowed it or weren't thrilled with it or, weren't proud of it or whatever, but I think time, it's become a cult classic.
I never really had any negative feelings about the film. I thought it was funny. I laughed at some of the scenes. I cringed at some of the scenes. But, I was intelligent and smart enough to realize that it was what it was. It was just a silly rock and roll movie that was designed for Kiss fans. It wasn't, a love story. I mean, come on, we're superheroes. We got comic books out. How serious can you take Kiss? Paul and Gene, they were always so serious. Maybe it's because they weren't loaded. Neither of those guys drank or did drugs. The whole roller coaster ride of Kiss to me was just like this jolly, crazy ride where I'm wearing makeup and dressed up as a superhero, playing guitar and having fun and meeting beautiful women along the way. I just never took the thing that seriously, even though we were like one of the biggest groups in the world. And I still look back on it today and I go, wow, that was weird.
That's great.
He's so profound.
I know. I love when he makes himself laugh.
No, that cackle.
That's the Kiss Army We Are One, by the way, is the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
They have a lot of good stuff on there. I was laughing my ass off. Almost anything with Ace makes me laugh. I don't know why. It's especially when he makes himself laugh. And he just comes up with lines you're not expecting, like, yeah, the car slipped on gay cum. What? Anyway, that movie is, I guess it is a cult classic. I'm convinced now that whenever a rock and roll band is in a movie, their fans just like seeing them. They just like seeing, they don't care what they're doing. It doesn't matter because that movie is so bad. It's really awful. It looks really cheap too.
Yeah.
And some of the dubbing, Jesus Christ. How bad could Peter's lines have been?
He was loaded.
Yeah. Maybe even more loaded than Ace, according to Ace.
What other bands did movie besides the Beatles and Elvis? I mean,
the Ramones have a movie.
Oh, and the Who does too, I guess.
Yeah. Zeppelin has a movie.
They do.
Song Remains the Same.
Oh, yeah.
That was a performance.
Yeah, it's a concert.
But there's scenes, they use scenes that they shot outside the performance in the movie.
Just like... and not fighting monsters. Though,
right.
So.
Yeah. The Stones did the same thing. Altamont, they had scenes that were shot. They had concert footage. Then they had them watching this guy get stabbed. And it's all kinds of weird stuff. And then they shot another one. No, I don't think I've ever seen a movie that dumb. I mean, because those guys were in makeup. And I swear, the more I listen to Ace talk, the more I think half the reason he didn't want to be in Kiss, he was so fucking sick of wearing makeup. He hated it. He couldn't stand it.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Well, he tried taking it off. Didn't work.
They said at one point that would he wear the makeup? Would he ever do a tour and wear the makeup again, like a solo tour? And he's like, nah, not unless somebody came up with a lot of money.
It's answer anything for Ace.
Yep.
As long as there's money.